The Thomas-built safety liner HDX packed students like sardines during budget cuts. 3 kids squeezed into seats designed for 2. The diesel fumes seeped into the cabin, making students nauseous. The hard plastic seats offered zero comfort on hour-long rides. The bus rode rough, amplifying every pothole. Students in the back bounced violently over railroad tracks. The windows barely opened, leaving the interior sweltering. Bullying flourished in the crowded aisles, with drivers unable to monitor. Students dreaded the daily ride more than school itself. The Bluebird Conventional created a pecking order students never forgot. Older students claimed the back rows, leaving younger kids stuck in front. The engine noise was deafening, making conversation impossible. The exhaust smell permeated clothing and backpacks. The ride quality was harsh, leaving students motion sick. The narrow aisles meant getting on and off took forever. Students who lived furthest endured 2-hour daily commutes. The lack of air conditioning turned afternoon routes into mobile saunas. Many students begged parents to drive them instead. The International 3800 terrified students with frequent breakdowns. Kids were left stranded on rural roads waiting for replacements. The underpowered engine struggled on hills, causing students to arrive late. The braking system felt unsafe, making every stop jerky. Students sat over the wheels, enduring maximum impact. The heating either didn't work or roasted students. The emergency exits often jammed during drills. Students who rode them developed genuine anxiety about the commute. The Ward M1A1 fiberglass body swayed alarmingly in crosswinds, scaring younger students. The lightweight construction transmitted every road vibration into seats. Students bounced off seats on bumpy rural roads. The poor heating left kids freezing during winter pickups. The thin walls provided no sound insulation. Bullies used the chaos of the bouncing bus to target smaller students. The driver couldn't maintain control while fighting the steering. Students who transferred complained immediately. The Crown Supercoach broke down so often students missed field trips and sports events. The sophisticated systems failed, leaving buses dead at schools. Students sat for hours waiting for mechanics. The automatic transmission created jerky rides, triggering motion sickness. Parents complained about reliability, affecting work schedules. Students developed backup plans, assuming failure. The few districts that bought them regretted it within the first year. Students celebrated when they were replaced. Early IC Bus CE models had suspension problems students noticed immediately. The rough ride made reading or homework impossible. Students arrived already exhausted from being bounced around. The seating was awkward, leaving taller students cramped. The blind spots meant students had to be extra careful. The lack of padding created bruises on long routes. Students who switched to newer buses noticed the difference. Many asked to be assigned to different routes. The carpenter body felt cheap to students. The rattling panels created constant noise. Loose seats and trim fell apart regularly. The high step made boarding difficult for elementary students. Engine noise made the front rows unbearable. The rough ride meant spilled lunches and damaged projects. Students nicknamed it the junk bus. Routes with carpenter buses had the highest complaint rates. Students actively tried to switch routes. Early Thomas-built Minotaur rear-engine buses overheated constantly. The rear engine meant the back rows became unbearably hot. Students complained about heat exposure daily. The slow acceleration made students late. The engine access under seats meant students had to move during repairs. The climate control left students freezing in front and roasting in back. Students fought over seats away from the rear. Parents transferred kids specifically to avoid minotaurs. The Wayne lifeguard had structural problems students could feel. The body flexed over railroad tracks, terrifying younger students. The squeaking made students wonder if the bus was falling apart. Seats had no lumbar support, causing back pain. The wide turning radius meant longer routes. The ride quality deteriorated as buses aged. Students developed genuine safety concerns. Many students walked rather than endure the lifeguard. The superior coach was unbearably heavy and slow. Students were late constantly because the bus couldn't maintain speeds. The door mechanisms jammed in cold weather, trapping students inside. Accessing the heater meant removing panels, making winter repairs impossible. Students endured freezing routes when heating failed. The design prioritized durability over comfort entirely. Students described them as mobile detention. The Bluebird TC2000 had massive blind spots students learned to fear. The flat front created a danger zone where students disappeared. Students were trained to stay back, but accidents still happened. The Detroit Diesel filled the interior with exhaust smell. The door controls caused doors to open unexpectedly. Students developed anxiety about standing near doors. The design created genuine safety concerns. Parents campaigned to have them removed from elementary routes. The Thomas-built MVP bounced so much students got motion sick regularly. The air suspension created an unstable, floating sensation. Students couldn't read because of constant motion. The ride made students nauseous on curvy routes. The braking required constant maintenance, leaving buses out of service. Backing was difficult, causing delays. Students dreaded the MVP and requested changes. The suspension never softened despite improvements. The Crown Firecoach propane system created explosion fears. The visible propane tank made students nervous about crashes. The fuel system leaked occasionally, creating safety concerns. Engine access took twice as long, making students wait. Emergency exits stuck closed, failing inspections. Students who rode propane buses lived in constant anxiety. The few districts that tried propane regretted it. Students refused to sit near the tank. The Wayne Papoose short bus carried the stigma of special needs transportation. Students assigned to papooses faced bullying from peers. The automatic transmission failed constantly, stranding students mid-route. Students missed classes because of mechanical failures. The small size meant students felt isolated and different. Many transferred to regular routes to escape the stigma. The papoose solved capacity problems but created social ones. The Collins bus wheelchair lift systems broke down frequently. Students waited in all weather while drivers fought with hydraulics. Diagnostic capabilities were non-existent, making repairs impossible. Parts took weeks, meaning students missed school. Students with special needs endured the most unreliable transportation. Parents fought constantly with districts over quality. The complicated systems created more problems than they solved. The Girardin MB2 made students uneasy because it never felt structurally sound. Students worried about frame flex on rough roads. The bus was difficult to maintain, leading to service gaps. Rust issues appeared quickly in northern states. The thick A-pillars created dangerous blind spots. Students who switched immediately felt the difference in quality. The design never inspired confidence. Most districts returned to domestic manufacturers quickly. The Thomas, built conventional with Cat diesel, demanded constant attention. The Cat engine required expensive maintenance. Districts couldn't afford. The heavy clutch made rough shifts, throwing students around. The bus looked professional, but mistakes were punished harshly. Students were late when breakdowns occurred. The operational costs meant fewer buses and more crowding. Districts often sold them early. Students endured the consequences of the expensive decision. The International Lodestar truck conversion felt dangerous from day one. The high truck chassis meant a difficult climb for elementary students. The commercial truck cab wasn't designed for school transportation. The basic bus body felt improvised. Students worried the conversion would fail catastrophically. The ride quality was brutal with truck suspension. Parents complained about safety from the moment Lodestars appeared. Students who rode them never felt truly safe.